Let's get real for a second. If you think showering a woman with endless attention and affection is the secret to winning her over, you've been sold a lie. What if I told you that by simply stepping back, yes, even ignoring her, you could completely flip the script? Imagine her questioning her feelings, chasing you instead, and finding you irresistibly mysterious. Sounds harsh? Maybe. But this is the cold, hard truth of attraction psychology. In this video, we're diving deep into the art, and yes, the dark psychology, of ignoring a woman. You'll discover how mastering this counterintuitive strategy taps into her deepest emotional triggers, reshapes the dynamic, and makes you more attractive without manipulation. So stick around, because what you're about to learn could change the game completely. Segment 1: The psychology behind ignoring a woman. Have you ever wondered why some people seem more irresistible the less they try? It's almost like the harder they are to pin down, the more you want to figure them out. Well, there's a powerful psychological reason behind it, and trust me, it's not about playing games. Let's talk about the art of being unforgettable by stepping back. Picture this. You meet someone amazing. You're texting nonstop, always available, and constantly trying to impress them. At first, things are great. There's excitement, connection, even a spark. But then, slowly, they seem to pull away. They're less responsive, maybe even a little distant. And suddenly you're left wondering, what went wrong? It's frustrating, right? But here's the kicker. It might be because you were too available. Now, don't get me wrong. Being attentive and kind is important, but there's a difference between showing interest and overdoing it, and that difference? That's where attraction lives. The truth is, women, and honestly most people, are wired to crave what they can't fully have. It's just human nature. Think about it. When something is always within reach, always predictable, we tend to take it for granted. But introduce a little mystery, a little uncertainty, and suddenly our attention locks in. Why? Because our brains are wired to chase what feels just out of reach. That little gap, that space, it's what keeps us intrigued. So, how do you apply this in real life without coming off as rude or disinterested? It's simpler than you think. Here are 3 practical steps. 1. Prioritize your own life. Focus on your passions, goals, and friendships. When you're genuinely busy and fulfilled, you won't be tempted to overinvest in someone else's attention. It's not about pretending, it's about living. 2. Be deliberate with your responses. You don't need to reply to every text instantly. Instead, respond when you're free and genuinely engaged. This shows you're interested, but not dependent. 3. Create space intentionally. If you're always available, you leave no room for her to miss you. Step back occasionally. Let her wonder what you're up to. That curiosity, it's incredibly powerful. Here's the bottom line. Scarcity creates value. When you respect yourself enough to step back, you're sending a powerful message that your time and attention are worth earning. And that's where real attraction begins. So what do you think? Does this resonate? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you've handled this in your own life. And if you're finding value in this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights like these. The next section, we're breaking down exactly how curiosity keeps her hooked. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Stay tuned, because we're about to uncover the psychological triggers that make her think about you even when you're not around. And no, it's not about games. It's about creating genuine intrigue. Segment 2: The danger of overinvestment. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, texting her first, making plans, and showing her how much you care, only for her to seem less interested with every effort? It's frustrating, isn't it? But what if I told you that the problem might not be what you're doing, but how much you're doing it? Let's break it down. You meet someone amazing and you're all in. You're texting her good morning and good night, rearranging your schedule to make time for her, and constantly complimenting her. It feels natural to you because you're genuinely interested. But here's the kicker. Over time, she starts responding less. The excitement fades, and you're left asking yourself what went wrong. Here's the harsh truth. Over-investing, giving too much of your attention and effort up front, doesn't make her value you more. In fact, it does the opposite. When you're always available, you send a subtle message that she doesn't have to work for your attention. And let's be honest, people don't value what comes too easily. The danger of overinvestment lies in predictability and imbalance. When you're always texting her first, always dropping everything for her, or constantly showering her with compliments, two things happen. 1. You lose your mystery. There's no challenge, no intrigue. She knows you're always there, and that predictability kills attraction. 2. You lower your perceived value. If she doesn't have to put in any effort to get your attention, she won't see it as something special. Let me put it this way. Think about the last time you had to save up for something you really wanted, whether it was a dream car, a vacation, or even a pair of shoes. The effort made it more rewarding, didn't it? Relationships work the same way. Effort creates value. So, how do you avoid falling into the overinvestment trap? Here are 3 actionable steps to help you strike the right balance. 1. Pause before you text. Before sending that next message, ask yourself, does this move the connection forward, or am I just trying to fill silence? Sometimes silence is powerful. Let her miss your presence before you flood her with attention. 2. Focus on your life. Build a routine that's fulfilling without her. Whether it's hitting the gym, pursuing a passion, or spending time with friends, show her that your life is full and thriving. A man with purpose is always more attractive. 3. Let her invest. Give her the space to contribute to the relationship. Instead of always planning the dates, let her suggest something. When she invests, she becomes more emotionally attached. And no, this doesn't mean ignoring her completely or playing hard to get. It's about creating a healthy balance where she sees your attention as something valuable, not something she can take for granted. Here's the bottom line. When you invest too much, too soon, you're not showing love. You're sacrificing your own value. By pulling back just enough to let her wonder, you're giving her the gift of curiosity. And that spark, that's where true attraction begins. Now let me ask you, are you guilty of overinvesting? How has it affected your relationships? Drop your experiences in the comments below. And if this is hitting home, do me a favor. Hit the like button and subscribe so we can dive even deeper into these game-changing insights. In the next section, we're talking about curiosity, why it's so powerful, and how it can make her think about you even when you're not around. Trust me, you don't want to miss this part. Segment 3, Triggering Curiosity Through Space. Have you ever wondered why some people stay on your mind, even when they're not around? It's like their absence creates this magnetic pull, leaving you questioning what they're doing, who they're with, and why you're thinking about them so much. That's the power of curiosity. And when it comes to attraction, it's a total game changer. Let's be honest, we've all been there. You meet someone new and it's exciting. You're tempted to keep the conversation going, send that follow-up text, or even plan the next date right away. After all, you like them, so why wait? But here's what happens. Instead of building connection, your eagerness starts to feel predictable. And before you know it, the dynamic shifts. They're no longer as interested, and you're left wondering where you went wrong. It's frustrating, right? You're putting in the effort, yet they seem to be pulling away. But here's the thing. It's not about effort, it's about timing and space. Curiosity is one of the most underrated tools in attraction. When you step back and resist the urge to always be available, you give her the space to wonder about you. And that wondering, that's where attraction begins to grow. It's simple psychology. When we don't have all the answers, our minds fill in the blanks. That's why suspenseful movies keep us hooked and why unanswered questions nag at us. The same principle applies in relationships. By creating a little distance, you become intriguing, and that intrigue is what sets you apart from the rest. So, how do you use curiosity to your advantage without coming off as disinterested? Here are 3 practical steps you can start using right now. 1. Be selective with your responses. Instead of replying to her texts instantly, take your time. This doesn't mean ignoring her for hours, but responding when it's natural for you, when you're genuinely free. This small delay creates anticipation. 2. Send one thoughtful text and wait. After a great first meeting, resist the urge to flood her inbox with messages. Instead, send one thoughtful, engaging text and let it breathe. This pause gives her time to think about you, wonder what you're doing, and even replay the moments you've already shared. 3. Focus on your own life. The best way to create curiosity isn't by playing games, it's by genuinely living a full life. Whether it's a hobby, your work, or spending time with friends, when you're focused on yourself, it naturally makes you less available and more intriguing. These small shifts might feel counterintuitive at first, but trust me, they work. You're not ignoring her, you're creating space for her to miss you. Here's the truth. When you're always available, you don't give her the chance to wonder, to think about you, to miss you. And curiosity? It's the fuel for attraction. So step back, give her space, and let her mind do the rest. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried creating curiosity by giving space? How did it work out for you? Drop your experiences in the comments below. I'm reading every one. And if you're finding these tips helpful, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed, because the next section, we're diving into the power of mystery and why it's the secret sauce for keeping her hooked. You don't want to miss it. In the next segment, we're talking about how mystery, not just curiosity, keeps her coming back for more. Think of it as the next level of attraction psychology. Stay tuned. Segment 4. The power of mystery. Imagine picking up a book, and by the end of the first chapter, you already know exactly how it ends. Would you keep reading? Probably not. The same thing happens in relationships. When there's no mystery, the excitement fades fast. Let me guess, you've been in a situation where things started off great. The chemistry was there, conversations flowed, and you felt like you really clicked. So naturally, you wanted to open up, share everything about yourself, and let her know exactly how you feel. But then, something shifted. The excitement started to fizzle out. She didn't seem as engaged anymore, and you couldn't figure out why. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. It wasn't your honesty or effort that turned her off. It was the lack of mystery. Mystery is the secret sauce of attraction. It's what keeps people intrigued, engaged, and wanting more. When you're too predictable or share everything too quickly, there's no room for her to wonder, to ask questions, or to imagine what's going on in your mind. And that curiosity? That's what keeps her coming back for more. Here's the fact. People are naturally drawn to what they can't fully figure out. It's human nature. And in relationships, it's the unknown, the unanswered questions, that creates a magnetic pull. So how do you cultivate mystery without playing games or coming across as distant? It's all about balance. Let me break it down for you. 1. Don't overshare too soon. It's tempting to lay all your cards on the table when you're excited about someone, but hold back a little. Share pieces of your life and your thoughts gradually, leaving her curious about the rest. For example, instead of detailing your entire life story, drop a hint about something interesting you're working on or a passion you have, and let her ask more. 2. Be unpredictable. Predictability is the enemy of mystery. If she knows exactly what you'll text or how you'll react in every situation, there's no excitement. Mix things up. Plan a surprise date, take a different approach in conversations, or keep her guessing about what's next. 3. Maintain some privacy. Not everything about you needs to be on display immediately. Keep certain aspects of your life private. Not to hide anything, but to create intrigue. Maybe you have a hobby she doesn't know much about, or a long-term goal you haven't revealed yet. Let her discover these things over time. Think of yourself as a Netflix series. If you reveal every plot twist in the trailer, why would anyone watch the show? Let her discover who you are, one episode at a time. Here's what I want you to remember. You're not just a book to be read. You're a mystery novel. The kind she can't put down because she's dying to know what happens next. By keeping a little bit of mystery alive, you don't just hold her attention, you create a deeper connection that keeps her invested. So let me ask you, are you keeping her curious, or are you giving away the whole story too soon? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're finding this valuable, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Up next, we're diving into the right way to pull away without being disrespectful. This is where things get really interesting. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. The next section? It's all about pulling away while still keeping her respect. Because there's a fine line between creating space and coming off as distant, and getting it right makes all the difference. Stay tuned. Segment 5. Respectful distance, not disrespect. Let's get one thing straight. Ignoring a woman to get her attention isn't about disappearing completely or being rude. That's not confidence. That's just immaturity. So what's the difference between pulling away the right way and sabotaging your connection? Stick around, because we're breaking it all down. Let me paint a picture. You've been talking to someone you really like. Things seem to be going well, but you've heard advice like, just ignore her. It'll make her chase you. So you stop replying to her messages altogether, or keep her waiting for days. But instead of drawing her in, she pulls back even further. Maybe she even stops responding entirely. Sound familiar? Here's the harsh truth. That approach doesn't make you look confident, it makes you seem careless. Or worse, like you're playing games. And no one respects a game player. The real art of pulling away isn't about ghosting her or treating her like she doesn't matter. It's about balance. It's about showing her that you value your own time and priorities while still respecting hers. When you step back respectfully, you're sending a powerful message. I'm confident enough to give you space, and I know my worth. And that's what makes you truly attractive. Women are drawn to men who are self-assured, not desperate, and that confidence shows when you know how to create space without being disrespectful. Let's talk about how to pull away the right way. Here are 3 steps you can use to create that balance. 1. Communicate clearly. If you're going to take a step back, don't leave her guessing. For example, if you're busy with work or a personal project, let her know. A simple, "Hey, I've got a lot on my plate this week, but I'll check in soon," goes a long way in showing her you respect her time while focusing on your priorities. 2. Focus on your goals. Use the time you're stepping back to work on yourself. Hit the gym, build your career, or dive into a passion project. When she sees that you're driven and not just waiting around for her attention, it adds to your appeal. 3. Stay present when you're together. When you do spend time with her, make it count. Be fully present. Listen, engage, and show her that she's important. This balance of distance and connection keeps the dynamic healthy and exciting. Here's the golden rule. Pulling away doesn't mean playing games. It means showing her and yourself that you have a life worth living, goals worth chasing, and the confidence to respect her time as much as your own. So what's your approach? Are you stepping back with respect, or are you falling into the trap of game playing? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how this has worked for you. And if you're finding value in these tips, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because next up, we're talking about how to flip the script and let her start chasing you. You don't want to miss it. In the next segment, we'll dive into the psychology behind why stepping back respectfully often makes her more invested, and how to create the kind of dynamic where she's the one reaching out. Stay tuned. Legman chase you. Here's the truth. If you're constantly chasing her, you're doing it wrong. You're not building attraction. You're killing it. But what if I told you there's a way to flip the script and make her want to pursue you? Stick with me, because this is the ultimate mindset shift. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're the one always making the effort? You're the one texting first, planning dates, and going out of your way to impress her. And at first it's exciting, you like her, so it feels natural to pursue. But over time, she starts pulling back. Her responses are slower, her enthusiasm fades, and suddenly you're left wondering, what more can I do? It's exhausting, right? You're putting in all the effort, yet it feels like the harder you try, the further she drifts. The problem? You're giving her everything without making her work for it. Here's the harsh truth. People value what they have to work for. It's human nature. Think about it. If someone handed you a trophy for no reason, would it mean as much as one you earned through effort and dedication? Of course not. The same principle applies to relationships. When you're constantly pursuing, you're telling her, whether you mean to or not, that she doesn't need to invest in you. But when you step back and focus on your own life, you send a completely different message. I'm not chasing you because I know my worth. And if you want me, you'll need to show it. And that's the difference between chasing and attracting. So how do you let her chase you in a way that feels natural and genuine? Here are 3 steps you can start using right now. 1. Invest in yourself first. The most attractive men are the ones who are focused on their own growth, passions, and goals. Whether it's advancing your career, learning a new skill, or hitting the gym, show her and yourself that your life is full and thriving. When you're busy building something great, you naturally become someone worth chasing. 2. Be selective with your time. Stop dropping everything for her. If you're always available, you're sending the message that your time isn't valuable. Instead, prioritize your own schedule and invite her into your life when it aligns naturally. 3. Respond. Don't overreact. If she reaches out, great, respond thoughtfully, but resist the urge to overreact or come across as overly eager. For example, if she sends a text, reply when you're genuinely free instead of interrupting your day to respond immediately. This shows confidence and self-control, which are incredibly attractive. By creating this dynamic, you're shifting the focus. You're not chasing her anymore. You're giving her the opportunity to chase you. And trust me, that's a powerful shift. Here's the bottom line. Attraction isn't about tricks or manipulation. It's about valuing yourself enough to stop chasing and start attracting. When you focus on your own life and let her put in the effort, the connection becomes more meaningful for both of you. So, what do you think? Have you tried stepping back and letting her come to you? Share your experiences in the comments. I'm reading every one. And if this hit home for you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Next up, we're diving into the psychology of maintaining attraction long term. Because once you've got her attention, the real question is, how do you keep it? You're not going to want to miss this one. Stay tuned.